Well, once again, welcome to really our first Acton Institute conference here at San Diego Christian College Rivendell Sanctuary. This is entitled, once again, what is it? Let me poll from the audience. Bauman, do you know what the conference is called? Come on, somebody help him out. Faith, freedom, and economics. Excellent. Okay, what we have before you guys is I'm just sitting here thinking, and what we have is probably just a couple of heroes here. Okay, on the one hand, we have a retired an Air Force major here. Okay, so on the one hand, that's a cultural hero, but then also Jay Richards is out as well fighting economics, fighting evil in our culture today as well, right? So I would highly encourage you to just pester them, get their signatures, buy their books. Do you guys have any books with you here?
Only if you have some.
Okay, all right. We don't have, we do have Amazon, so you can do that. Get your pictures with them. Do something. You know, just soak up this time. It's a privilege to have them here with us. I do have a random announcement. I've got to let you guys know. R6, no Bible tomorrow. Yeah, I thought you guys would like that. Excellent. And just show up. Just be in class at 8:45. Okay, 15 minutes before we start lectures in the morning. Thought you guys might like that. Yeah. No Bible. That's right. No Bible. Cheer it up. All right. Good. Okay, so again, it's just really, it's a lot of fun to have you guys. What's that? Oh, you.
Well, this is awkward.
Yes. Okay. Evidently, Dr. Richards was going to be speaking to you guys at 8 o'clock tomorrow.
Fantastic.
But I think we'll add an extra hour of sleep. Will that work?
Well, I should have cheered, clapped.
Yeah, seriously. Excellent. Yes, good. Okay, well, once again, we want to welcome all of you guys. It's really good to see all you students here together. Want to plug the next speaker, Dr. Jay Richards. You can actually see that up there. He has a BA, MDiv, THM, PhD from Princeton Theological Seminary. He wrote this book, Money, Greed, and God. Check this out. His actual lecture is coming a bit from this book. A couple of you, perhaps, let's see, R7, you have been through physics already, right? Do you guys remember the Privileged Planet DVD? Okay, he wrote that book along with Guillermo. So R6, you guys know that well. So in other words, some of our material in this program, Dr. Richards has actually written or highly influenced, so that's pretty cool. He's coming out with a book on The Hobbit in a couple of months on the economy. So he's pretty cool, all right? His cool level just went way up. Let's please give a warm welcome to Dr. Jay Richards this evening.
The point about The Hobbit is obviously relevant because it's called Rivendell Sanctuary. So he asked me if there's anything in particular. So it's called The Hobbit Party, and I wrote it with a guy named Jonathan Witt, who's in fact a longtime friend. But it's about Tolkien's political and economic thought, because Tolkien, for those of you that have followed, I'm guessing a lot of you have read Tolkien, but any of you that have read the secondary literature, the books about Tolkien, for decades, people on the left have tried to co-opt him. And so Jonathan Witt and I, my co-author Jonathan Witt's a literary critic. His PhD is in literary criticism. This bothered us for so many years that we finally said, you know, we really need to write a book that's a close reading of Tolkien that draws out his political and economic thought. And if we can't get it done before the third Hobbit movie comes out, we're really lame. So, I mean, that was literally sort of it's a thing that made us finally do it, strangely enough. It's just out of frustration. Well, Craig and I are here to give, actually, we're going to give, I guess, a total of 4 talks each over the next couple of days. But tonight, what I want to do is I want to talk about economics, and I hope, at least to sort of pique your interest in the prospect that it's actually possible to know what you would need to know about economics as an informed citizen, as an informed Christian who is trying to apply the Christian worldview to all the issues of the day. And that you can learn to think, as Henry Hazlitt said, in using what he called the art of economics. You can exercise the art of economics without necessarily studying economics as a science, without ever actually taking that macroeconomics course. In fact, if anything, some of you have not yet been to college, but you'll have this experience. Most people that have studied economics at all, they had that one macroeconomics course in college, and you don't realize that's actually designed to keep you from studying economics more than beyond that. It's an alienating thing. You don't get basic economic reasoning very often, and it's quite frustrating. I didn't understand this myself. I took econ courses in college, and it was actually only later that I realized what an interesting and amazing kind of intellectual discipline it can be and that it is. And so I ended up writing this book some years ago called Money, Greed, and God, frankly, out of frustration more than anything else. And it's because, unlike perhaps Craig, who was in the military, I went to college in the late 1980s, just prior to the collapse of the Soviet Union. I went to a very liberal undergrad college. It was well regarded academically, but very far to the left. My freshman year in college. So remember, this is before the Soviet Union collapsed, okay? So a little grace here, right? The communism hadn't been decisively refuted by history at that point. All right, so my freshman year, I had been raised in the church. I was a Presbyterian. I thought of myself as a Christian, but I had not worked out the implications of the faith to lots of other issues. It's just kind of a general intuitive thing. And so I've got a political science course my freshman year in college, and one of the textbooks is the Communist Manifesto by Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels. Another book is a book called Democracy for the Few by an American socialist named Michael Parente. And my professor said, or what I thought he said, he was he was a low talker, which is very frustrating for professors to be low talkers. And I thought he said, if you read the textbooks 5 times through, you'll get an A. And so I thought, oh, it's automatic. Right? This is amazing. And this was great because the Communist Manifesto is about a 45-minute read, right? And so I thought, I can do this. I read fairly quickly. And so I did this, and I read the Communist Manifesto 5 times through. And I also read this socialist book, Democracy for the Few, 5 times through. Well, you can guess what happened by the end of my freshman year, or really just the end of my, at Christmas when I went home my freshman year, right? And the parents had sent me off to college, and hey, I'm a socialist, it was easy. And that's how it works. But I didn't have my critical faculties built up. I wasn't inoculated. And my reasoning was like this. It's not impressive when you analyze it in detail. And so just remember, this is my intuitive sense. God cares about the poor. Jesus cares about the poor. The Bible talks a lot about the poor. He expects us to be concerned about the poor. Socialists are concerned about the poor and talk a lot about poverty. Therefore, Christians should be socialists. That was it. Right? Now, once it's sort of laid out bare like that, it's not very impressive. But at an intuitive level, that makes sense. There's a famous quote attributed to Churchill and to Hayek and to lots of people that if you're not a socialist when you're 20, you don't have a heart. If you're still a socialist when you're 40, you don't have a brain. That's the idea, is that it's important because it's tempting to think, well, we know the verdict of history is such that obviously socialism